Hi and welcome. We're here at the Security Zone at Next with Lorena Crowley, a phishing expert at Google Cloud.
Hi Yufeng, happy to be here.
So phishing attacks are an increasingly difficult threat for security teams to deal with these days.
Right, and one of the most common attack vectors that phishing attackers use to trick users is phishing websites.
Wow. Can you explain how and why attackers create these phishing websites?
Phishing attackers create sites that are designed to trick employees into clicking on a link, downloading a file, or providing sensitive information. These phishing websites look like legitimate websites, so it's very difficult for employees to spot them. And attackers are creating millions of these websites and putting them all over the web to try and trick users.
Wow. So that means employees across all sorts of companies are clicking on these links to the sites and accidentally finding them while browsing. And what happens then when an employee opens up these sites?
Well, let's take a look at some websites and see it from an employee's point of view. So let's say you're browsing the web and open some sites from your emails and you come across these websites. Let's see if you can spot which ones are legitimate and which sites are actually phishing websites.
Okay, I'll give it a shot. Well, this one looks like a financial website. And I think, well, the URL looks good. I'm gonna say this is a safe site.
Correct? Nice work. That is a legitimate website. Let's try another.
All right, try again. And well, this just looks like the Gmail login, and yeah, that seems reasonable. See that pretty often. Oh,
oops. No, that's actually a phishing website. It's hard to spot some of these.
Yeah, so what happens then when I fall for one of these phishing sites?
Well, in this example, you may have given away some of your credential details, but the site could have also tricked you into providing other information that's important, like company data or other sensitive info. Attackers are constantly creating more of these phishing sites, and they're getting more sophisticated and difficult for users to spot. In fact, a recent report estimated that 1.4 million of these phishing sites are created every month.
Wow, so employees are just going to be increasingly coming across these websites by accident and via targeted attacks.
Right, but luckily, there are some tools for companies to protect employees from phishing website attacks. One of those main tools companies can use is safe browsing through Chrome browser. Google is constantly scanning the web and identifying malicious phishing websites. These phishing websites are then stored in a blacklist on Google servers. This blacklist then gets synced with Chrome browser. So when an employee opens a malicious phishing website, the website is automatically blocked and the user sees this warning.
Great, so even if an employee opens up one of these websites, Chrome can detect it and alert them before they open up the website.
Exactly. Chrome browser stops these employees from accidentally putting sensitive data into the hands of attackers.
That's really great. And so how does this work with Google Cloud's other phishing protection tools?
That's a great question. Protecting against phishing website attacks is only one part of a phishing protection strategy. Tools like Chrome browser work seamlessly with Gmail for email phishing protection and security keys for strong two-factor authentication to provide companies with end-to-end phishing protection.
Well, Lorena, thanks so much for walking us through how Google Cloud can protect employees from phishing attacks.
My pleasure.